Between September and October 2025, the United States military conducted 6 airstrikes in the Caribbean Sea, destroying vessels suspected of drug trafficking. At least 29 people were killed. This marks the first time since the 1989 Panama invasion that America has openly launched military strikes in the region, and it's triggering an international crisis. The most dramatic strike occurred on October 17th. U.S. forces attacked a semi-submersible vessel, what President Trump called a drug-carrying submarine. 2 crew members died. 2 survived. This single event has ignited debates about international law, sovereignty, and the future of America's war on drugs. Welcome to Macro Decoded. If you find this content insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's dive into one of the most controversial military operations of 2025. What are narco-submarines? Imagine a vessel designed to evade detection. Built in secret jungle shipyards, these semi-submersibles travel with their hulls just below the water's surface, nearly invisible to radar. They cost between $1 to $2 million to build and can carry several tons of cocaine per voyage. For years, drug cartels in Colombia, Venezuela, and Ecuador have used these vessels to transport narcotics worth billions. They recruit fishermen, offering $3,000 per trip. For many coastal villagers facing poverty, it's a dangerous temptation. On October 17th, U.S. military forces identified a semi-submersible in Caribbean waters. President Trump claimed it was loaded with fentanyl and other illegal drugs, enough to kill 25,000 Americans. The military struck. 2 people died instantly. 2 others were pulled from the water by U.S. helicopters. One survivor, Jason Obando Perez from Colombia, arrived with severe brain trauma. He was sedated and on a ventilator. The other survivor was from Ecuador. Both were eventually returned to their home countries. But here's the problem. The U.S. government has provided no evidence, no photos of the cargo, no confirmation of drugs on board. Just claims. And that's raising serious legal questions. The victims weren't just numbers, they were real people. 11 Venezuelans died in the first strike on September 2nd, all from a small fishing village in Sucre State. Families mourned. Social media filled with tributes. A Colombian fisherman named Alejandro Carranza was killed on September 15th. His boat had engine failure and was drifting when it was struck. 2 men from Trinidad and Tobago, Chad Joseph and Rishi Samaru, died in the October 14th attack. Chad's family said he went to Venezuela looking for work to support his relatives. These weren't all hardened criminals. Many were fishermen, caught in the crossfire of a militarized drug war. President Trump invoked the authorization for use of military force, the same law used after 9/11 to fight terrorism. He designated Venezuela's Tren de Aragua gang as a foreign terrorist organization and declared war on narco-terrorists. But international law experts are calling this illegal. Professor Luke Moffat from Queen's University Belfast stated that labeling everyone a terrorist doesn't make them lawful military targets. The American Civil Liberties Union went further, saying these strikes constitute murder, pure and simple. The United Nations called them extrajudicial executions. Venezuela appealed to the UN Security Council, but the United States holds veto power. No action was taken. Here's why this matters. If the U.S. can strike suspected criminals in international waters without evidence or trial, what's stopping other countries from doing the same? This sets a dangerous precedent for global security. The strikes have shattered relationships across Latin America. Colombian President Gustavo Petro accused the U.S. of murdering Colombian citizens and violating sovereignty. He called it an act of war. President Trump responded by calling Petro an illegal drug leader and a lunatic. Trump then froze all U.S. aid to Colombia and imposed new tariffs. Colombia has been America's closest ally in the war on drugs for decades, receiving $230 million in aid this year alone. Now, that partnership is collapsing. Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro, mobilized 4.5 million militia members and established 284 military fronts in response to U.S. aggression. He accused Washington of attempting regime change and colonization. Meanwhile, the Dominican Republic emerged as the United States' new partner, conducting joint naval operations and seizing over 1,000 kilograms of cocaine in September. The United States deployed massive military assets: 8 warships, a nuclear-powered submarine, F-35 fighter jets, approximately 10,000 troops stationed on ships and in Puerto Rico. On October 15th, 3 B-52 bombers flew for hours off Venezuela's coast. These are strategic bombers, capable of carrying nuclear weapons. The message was clear: America is prepared to escalate. And then came the revelation. President Trump authorized the CIA to conduct covert operations inside Venezuela, including lethal missions. This isn't just about intercepting boats anymore. The U.S. is now planning operations on Venezuelan soil. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most fentanyl entering the United States doesn't come from Venezuela. 96% comes across the Mexican border, manufactured by Mexican cartels using Chinese precursor chemicals. Most cocaine also travels through Pacific routes from Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia, not the Caribbean. Experts from the New York Times investigated and concluded that blowing up Venezuelan boats won't stop the flow of drugs. Cartels adapt. They find new routes, recruit new people, build new submarines. This campaign may be more about geopolitics than drugs. A show of force, a warning to adversaries, a demonstration of presidential power. So, what are the consequences? For the United States, demonstrates military strength but risks international isolation and legal challenges, damages relationships with Latin American allies, sets precedent for military action without clear legal authority. For Latin America, sovereignty under threat, political divisions deepen, aid and trade disrupted. Social unrest grows as communities lose fathers, sons, and brothers to military strikes. For drug cartels, temporary disruption but long-term adaptation. Cartels innovate with new technology, routes, and recruitment strategies. The drug trade continues. For international law, weakens global norms on use of force, undermines protections for civilians, risks creating a world where any nation can strike suspected criminals without evidence or trial. For local communities, devastation. Families mourn. Villages demand justice. Poverty and desperation continue driving young men toward criminal organizations. With CIA operations authorized and military assets positioned for escalation, the risk of broader armed conflict between the United States and Venezuela is higher than it's been in decades. This story goes far beyond submarines and drug busts. It's about the limits of power, the meaning of justice, and the future of international relations in an increasingly unstable world. Will military force solve the drug crisis, or will it create new problems, new enemies, and new cycles of violence? Only time will tell. If this analysis helped you understand the deeper layers behind the headlines, please support Macro Decoded by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Your support helps us continue decoding the events shaping our world. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay informed and stay curious.